into the
You
truth
are
with
now
G.
tuned into the truth with G.
Educate
Inspire
and uplift.
and
If you can't
uplift.
handle the truth,
If you can't
this
handle
ain't
the
the show
truth,
for you.
this ain't the show
The
for you.
truth, the whole
The
truth,
truth,
and
the
nothing
whole
but the
truth,
truth.
but
So
the truth.
sit back,
So sit
relax,
back,
and buckle up and
relax,
enjoy this ride.
buckle up and enjoy this ride.
All right, take number three. Take number three. We have been trying to get this show started for the last 28 minutes now. I do apologize for the technical difficulties that we're having today. It's apparently the streaming program that is being used is having issues connecting with Facebook. So it's not anything that I can control, and my apologies. But it's giving me a message. It was giving me a message that they were having difficulties connecting with Facebook, and that they were trying to correct the issue, and that they would hopefully have that issue resolved soon. So I don't know if the issue has been resolved. I hope that I am on Facebook now. It is 6:30. We are 30 minutes into my showtime, which means that I have 30 minutes to say what I have to say. But we're going to do it best we can here. The views and opinions expressed by individual hosts are of their own and does not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of WPMM Radio. WPMM does not intend to align with any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual, or anyone or anything. All right, now that we have that out of the way. Again, this is our Father's Day edition of The Truth with G. My apologies once again for the technical difficulties that we have. Hopefully, we're up and running now. Hopefully, we won't have any more technical difficulties. And as I said, it's not on my end; it's on the end of between the streaming program that is used and Facebook. They were not communicating with each other. So hopefully that has been resolved. My apologies. You guys know when I come on, it takes a lot for me to get on here. So I hate when I get on here and I have issues to where I can't do what I need to do on the show. But thank you once again for joining the show. Thank you once again. I'm here every Monday, o'clock p.m. Standard Time, right here on WPMM Radio. But tonight we're talking about Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. We're talking about Father's Day today, and we're talking about the one, we want to wish all the fathers a happy Father's Day, and that two, we want to talk about the issues uh, surrounding our fathers nowadays, and certain situations that fathers are facing in today's society. And a lot of it does kind of go back in history where we tend to be content with repeating history, and that's one thing that we really need to get out of as far as uh, doing things to repeat history. So, but happy Father's Day. Again, I know I'm early, and the only reason I'm doing it today is because I don't know. I can't say for sure that I will be on Thursday. So if I'm not on Thursday, then I wanted to get this show done and talk about these things prior to Father's Day. Father's Day is the 16th. Is this coming Sunday? A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't pay attention to that. Uh, Unfortunately, Father's Day is one of the more, I hate to use the word dismal, but that's the word that kind of describes it. Father's Day is one of the more holidays of the year. It's one of the most unrecognized holidays. It's one of the most unadvertised holidays. Even when it comes to uh, capitalism, when it comes to commercials on television, when it comes to anything of that nature, the Father's Day is one of the most unrecognized holidays of the year. There was actually a poll done that showed how holidays rank, and Father's Day ranked way down the line of all holidays. There's holidays that, Groundhog Day, that ranks above Father's Day in that particular poll. But anyway. I want to wish all the fathers out there a happy Father's Day, happy early Father's Day. And when I say happy Father's Day, I'm not talking about those. I'm not only talking about those who have planted the seed or went through the measures of impregnating someone to become a father. And I'm not talking about those who have went through just those who have went through the adoption process to legally have a child. And I'm not talking about those who take on the role of foster parents uh, and bring different kids into their home. Not just talking about those. I'm talking about all the men uh, who have who have stepped into a fatherly role to any child at any point in time in their life, and has took pride in raising that child, regardless if it was theirs or if it wasn't theirs. All the mentors out there in the world, the men who have taken time out to mentor other people's kids that take on a fatherly role. The coaches out there who have taken on fatherly roles to help their kids, the athletes on their team or whatever, or any. It don't have to be sports to be a coach. Um, the uncles out there who have stepped up in the absence of certain fathers and in their families. To shout out to those people as well. The one of the people that have the most more difficult role and the more challenging role in being a father is those of the stepfather. I want to commend every man that has stepped into a fatherly role, who is a stepfather, who has taken on the responsibility and on the task of raising a child that is not theirs, and that has made the commitment uh, to take on that additional aspect of a relationship, if you will. And even after that, because sometimes stepfathers step in and they cling to the child and or the children, if you will, and they grow that bond, that fatherly bond with the child, and oftentimes the relationship may not work out, and even if it's a case where that relationship may not work out, even after the relationship, those men continue to be in the lives of those children. And when they're allowed to, and we'll talk about that later. But these men who have taken on a relationship with the children will continue on even after the relationship ends. And I want to commend you as well. And we have a lot of people out there listening to this show and may not be listening to the show who have been fathers. Anybody can impregnate someone, as long as you have a sperm count and you're able to get close enough to a woman to pass along that sperm. Anybody can produce a child. It takes a lot to be a dad. It takes a whole lot of effort and a whole lot of blood, sweat, and tears to be a dad and to be a role model to that child. So um, just because you have dropped your seed, if you will, and a child was born of your seed, you may have fathered a child. You're a real dad to that child, and that's the most important part of this whole conversation. Being a dad, like I say, anybody can father, but being a dad is a whole different beast, if you will. So, once again, happy Father's Day to all those fathers and mentors and anyone taking on the responsibility of being a father. Happy Father's Day to you. Um, if you're listening to the show on WPMM, the app. You know, you can. Still should be live on Facebook without any technical issues there. So if you want to shout out your pops on the show, just drop it in the comments, and I will definitely announce it while I'm here on the show. Um, and before I get too far into it, let me back up a little bit because I did not give any of the disclosures or anything of that nature in regards to the station, the WPMM Internet Radio. WPMMradio.com is the website. I was given this card, and I'm trying to think of who gave it to me and when somebody gave it to me, but they were giving information in regards to the Chapter James Flight Academy, and I wanted to put that out there. I wanted to make sure I put that out there, and I cannot. And my apologies. I'm not sure who gave me this card. There's a name on it, but it's just a name, just a first name. So I cannot. I promise you, I've been so many places in the last week or so, and I can't remember who gave me this card when they gave me this card. But anyway, the Chapter James Flight Academy is looking for young people uh, who are interested in flying, who are interested in learning how to fly. The person's name on the card is Nina. So contact Nina at 850-471-4743. If you have a younger kid, you know, male or female, who is interested in flying with the Chap James Flight Academy, contact Nina at 850-471-4743. And my apologies, and I promise you, I don't remember who gave me this card, but I remember telling them that I would make sure that I did put it on the show and announce the information on the show. So I'm gonna keep this card, and I'm gonna the next show I'm gonna announce it as well. But if you know who Nina is, who is recruiting for Chapter James Flight Academy, let me know, and I want to, you know, properly thank her for her information. And I know it was a female that gave it to me. I just don't remember who and when. So my apologies. But anyway, um, the role of a father. It's coming up on Father's Day. The role of a father is complex, if you will. It is, when people say fathers, the first thing they think about is a protector, disciplinarian, and things of that nature. And also, money is always at the top of the list when it comes to being a father. And unfortunately, you know, the money becomes a downfall in a lot of cases as well. And we'll, get here in a minute as well. But the role of a father is supposed to be a protector, a provider, a disciplinarian. That's the stereotypical definition of fatherhood nowadays. However, it's much more than that. It's much more than that. And when you put the financial burden on the father, always on the father, takes away from a lot of things that's even more important. And I think that time should be at the top of the list. Spending time with that child, that should be first and foremost, because that's the only way that father is going to develop a bond with that child, is spending time with that child, and that child getting to know their father, and that father getting to know their child, because that child take on different personalities, if you will, as they grow. And if you come into your child's life late, and you're not familiar with the different personalities of that child, it's going to be difficult to form that bond, because that child evolves. Most time, by the time that parent come, have that child, they're I'm not going to say they always stuck in their ways, even though they still evolving. But for the most part, we already know who they are, what they are. But that child is going to develop different personalities, and if that parent is not in that child's life throughout their development, it's going to cause issues down the road, because they're not going to know how to uh, communicate or take the behaviors of that child and understand the behaviors, and then it's going to be misconstrued, and one thing that they do is going to be taken as something else, because you don't know the personality of that child, and that's going to cause issues. So time should be at the top of the list when it comes to fathers. Um, when someone is asked what is the most important role of a father, it should be time, spending time with that child. Money is not at the top of the list. It's not even number two. It's not even number three, if you will. But you need time. You need time to create that bond. You need time. You need communication. You need to be able to communicate with your child. You need nurturing. You need to be able to know how to nurture and sympathize and empathize and relate to what your child is going through. Uh, Protection. That child needs to know that they're secure when they're with you, and they should know that they're secure. That if they get in a situation, that you'll be there for them to provide that level of security that they're looking for. Um, Love. They need your love. They need to feel your love. They need to see your love. Because you can tell somebody from a distance that you love them every day, all day. But until you show that aspect of a father-child relationship, they're not going to understand it or feel it or have that emotional attachment that is necessary for love to be proven. So that's another thing. But first and foremost, time. Spend time with children. And now I'm gonna say something, because I'm not sure today. So I'm gonna say something that some of the women gonna get pissed off at me about, but it's better to be pissed off than pissed on. Ladies, you have to stop. You have to stop denying these fathers from seeing their children for whatever reason. For financial reasons, you want to claim, oh, well, he ain't paying child support, so no, you can't see the child. That's not how it's supposed to work. You mad at him because he's not with you anymore. Y'all split up, or he left you, or whatever the case may be. Now you're mad at him and you're using the child as a pawn, as a levy, if you will, or for leverage. You're using that child and keeping that child away from that father because you're mad. You need to stop that. You're not with that father, the father of that child, and that father has moved on and he has got in another relationship. Now you big mad at this point because he has moved on and he may be in a different relationship and with another relationship with another woman, and now you mad, and now you saying, oh, he can't have my child because he ain't taking my child around that woman. No, don't do that. But you'll be quick to take that child around the man that you get involved with. So it creates somewhat of a double standard, creates somewhat of what they would call an oxymoron, because you allow it on your end, but you won't allow it on his end. It doesn't square up. It doesn't make sense. But just because you pissed off at him, just because he's mad at you, whatever the case may be, and just because he done moved on and got another relationship or whatever, you're keeping the child. You're using the child as a bargaining chip, if you will. Let's not do that to our children. And what people don't realize is when you put kids in that type of situation, they may not understand it at that present time, but as time goes on, these kids do grow up. As long as they keep breathing, they're going to grow up. And once they grow up, they're going to start understanding the aspects of your relationship with your 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 child's father. They're going to grow to learn if it's a issue of being angry, of being petty, and they were used as pawns or used as leverage against that father. They're going to grow to understand that. They're going to grow to see that that was the case. They're going to grow to see that mom was the culprit in them not having a relationship with their father. And then once that take place, and then they're going to hold animosity towards you. They're going to resent you for keeping them away from the man that father to them, and they're going to resent you. And then they once they resent you, and then they develop that, I don't respect you type of deal. Now you got a whole nother issue to deal with. Why did you tell all these lies about daddy? Why did you keep me from daddy? Why did you do this? Why did you do that? Those are hard questions to answer. Very hard questions to answer when you know that you have done this out of spite, out of anger, out of hate, out of revenge. You use that child as a bargaining tool, as a levy, and now that child has grown up to understand what was really going on. Now they resent you. You don't want that situation. You really don't want that situation. And let's basing our relationship, have making sure your kids have a relationship with the fathers based on child support. I think child support uh, is absolutely necessary. It should be equal across the board when it comes to child support. However, I don't think anybody should be forced to pay child support. I believe that if you are one that had a child or laid down to make a child, I feel that both parties are responsible for the financial backing and everything that is needed for that the upbringing of that child. It should be equal. I don't think the father should pay any more than what the mother is paying. And I'm assuming that the courts is set up that way. It's supposed to be set up that way to where the costs of what they have uh, set the cost of one child to two children, three, so on and so forth. I'm assuming that they have did the evaluations and looked at it and see what does it take in order to raise a child, and it's split accordingly. But however, we have too many situations where mothers are keeping their children away from the fathers because of child support. Oh, he ain't paying child support, so no, you're not seeing my child. You know, it's his child too. I hate to break that to you, but it's his child too. Whether he give a dime or he give $1,000 a month, whether he gives zero, it's still his child. You chose him. You chose to lay down with him. So now that the child is here, you have to deal with it, but don't use the child as a bargaining tool. But oftentimes, child support it creates a barrier between the mother and the father, and then that barrier falls down on the child, and that's unfortunate. But we have to find a way to be co-parents. And for all the men out there that are not doing what they're supposed to do, we have those that are willfully not doing what they're supposed to do, and then we have those that can't do what they want to do because of the actions of the mother. But for those who out there that are not doing because they just choose not to do, you guys need to step up. You got to step up and be a father to your children. That's the first step. I can't expect you to be a mentor or to be a coach to other people's kids, and you're not even taking care of your kids. If you had kids, and even if you're in a different relationship and you have kids with the person that you with, or what have you, and you had kids prior to that, uh, just because you're in a new relationship don't mean you turn your back on your previous kids. You still have that responsibility, but you ladies also have a responsibility as well. You have to make sure that you are not being that blockade against between your child and their fathers. Because I know how I feel. I've been there, done that. You guys know I'm not secretive about my upbringing, if you will. I've told the story many times. I did not have a father or a father figure growing up. And then for those who know me back in the day, they like, wait a minute, G, what are you talking about? Your mom and dad was married when you were born and when you was coming up. Yeah, they were. I was born into a so-called two-parent household. I had so-called two parents in the home until I was age 8. But the unfortunate part of that is for those 8 years, the person that was supposed to be in that role and the person that created me, the person that was supposed to take on the role of a father never did that. I never had a relationship. I never went to a ball game with the person that was responsible for creating me. Never went. I don't have a fond memory on it. I don't have much of a memory, period, because there's nothing to remember. So I grew up my whole life without a father figure. I didn't have uh, probably the closest thing I got was when I started playing baseball as a kid, and Mr. Willie Epps was my best coach, and Mr. Epps was he was a baseball coach. He was also a deacon in the church, and that's the only person that I can remember that if I had to put a label on, as far as a quote unquote father figure, that's the only person that I can even try to put into that category. And unfortunately, even with him, um, the only time that I seen him or interacted with him is when I was either at baseball practice or during a ball game. So with that being said, I know my show has been cut short today because of technical difficulties. With that being said, once again, I want to wish all the fathers a happy Father's Day. All the ones that out there doing what they're supposed to do and as they're supposed to do it. Kudos to you. And that's not just going out to the biological fathers or the stepdads, the foster dads, the adoptive dads, the role models, the mentors, the coaches, the uncles, uh, that have stepped up, the big brothers that have stepped up and helping to raise their youngest siblings as well. Anybody take any male figure that have taken on the role of helping to raise a child in a positive manner. Kudos to you and happy Father's Day to you. That for 4 years I've been saying is, as far as the ones that just planting seed and walking away, you got to do better. You must do better. It's not an option. You must do better. Get in your child's life. It's too much out there uh, for your child to get involved in. Too much negative things that are too many negative things that are going on in our society nowadays that they can end up getting. And oftentimes, those are the ones that don't have that guidance from a father, because you know how you knucklehead boys are. Once they get of a certain age, they get a little feisty, and they think that they think that they can handle mom, and they can kind of run over mom. But dads are the ones that are necessary, very necessary, to raise these young men, to turn these boys into men. In spite of everything that the mother does, that mother will never be a man. That mother will never think as a man. That mother will never act as a man. That mother will never produce the thoughts and the emotions of a man. So that it bothers me when women on Father's Day should be saying Happy Father's Day. You know, mothers have their day. There's a Mother's Day. But the bottom line is, and the truth about the whole matter is that you'll never be a mother. You'll never be a father. You may be able to do some of the things that father does or is capable of doing, but you will never be a father. You will be a mother doing things that a father would do. However, when it comes to bonding with that child, being a mother, that child is only going to bond to you as being a mother. They're not going to bond to you in the aspects of being a father or a father figure, because you will always be. So allow these fathers to be in the life of these children. Once again, happy Father's Day to all the ones out there who have taken on the role and who are doing the right thing and taking care of their children. And if I don't see you on Thursday, I want you guys to have a happy Father's Day weekend. I want you to spend some time with your kids. And for the kids out there that's able, willing, and able, and want to do something special for that person that is taking care of them and responsible for raising them. You know, you don't have to go out and buy anything, you know, whatever the case may be. Just, you know, just treat them nice. Just treat them nice. Tell them you love them, and I guarantee you that'll go a lot. Not buying socks or going buying a tie or whatever. You know, about going buying a yard tool, so he can go out there in the yard. You know, that hug and that I love you is enough for most real fathers. So with that being said, it's about time for me to get up out of here. I'm not. I have a show coming up right after mine on WPMM radio, so not going to prolong the time. My apologies again in the beginning of the show for the technical difficulties that we had, but we was able to manage to get on and get the show rolling. So I will be back on Thursday, 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. If I'm not on Thursdays, I'll let you guys know. But in the meantime, you guys be safe. Y'all be blessed. And I'm out of here.